Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to learn how to use the present perfect with the words recently and the last couple of days. Alright guys, so we learnt that to use the present perfect, the time period must be continuing and the thing we're talking about must be true for the whole time. Now, some time periods are very obviously continuing, like today, or this week, or this month, but some are not so clear, like the word recently. Is recently continuing, or is it a finished time? Well, actually it can be both, depending on what you're talking about. For example, if you say, I broke my leg recently, well that's finished. I'm not continuing to break my leg. So we just use the past tense. I broke my leg recently. But we can also use recently with continuing things. For example, I have been very busy recently. It means I started to be busy in the recent past, and then I'm still busy now. It's busy until now. So it's continuing. And for the listener, it's very clear if it's finished or if it's continuing based on the tense. If you use the past tense, obviously it's finished. I broke my leg recently. But this is why present perfect is useful, because it tells somebody if something is continuing. When I say, I have been very busy recently, because I use the present perfect, people know it's continuing until now. Okay, now let's talk about the last few days. Do you think this is continuing or finished? Now, this is something so important, guys. Whenever you say the last something, it's always a continuing time. It always goes with present perfect. Because when you say the last, it means counting back from now this much time. If I say the last 10 minutes have been great, it means counting back 10 minutes from right now. So it's from that time, 10 minutes ago, until now. And because it's until now, it's present perfect. So let's look at some examples. I could say, the last 3 days have been so crazy. It means counting back from 3 days until now. All of this time has been crazy. Whenever you say the last and then some time, it's always present perfect. It means counting back that much time. Now, something really important, guys, is you can also say your last, or his last, or her last. In English, we can always replace the word the with a possessive adjective, meaning my, or your, or his, or her, and it has the same meaning. So we could say, my last few days have been great, and it's the same as the last few days. But it's more specific that it's my few days. But it's the same meaning, the same tense, with present perfect. And this is really awesome to use in questions, because you can ask people things like, oh, hey Ryan, how have your last few days been? Because your last few days is continuing, so we use present perfect, and we put this object, the last few days, in the middle of the has and been. How have your last few days been? Alright guys, so we know whenever we say the last or your last and then some time, it's counting back that much time from now. So the last 5 days have been great. The last 6 days have been great. The last 7 days have been great. And what is another way to say 7 days? Well, 7 days is a week. So we can say, my last week has been great. And it means 7 days back from now. So right now it's Wednesday. So if I say my last week has been great, it means going back 7 days from this Wednesday until last Wednesday. Wednesday to Wednesday. So this is a really useful question to ask people when you see people on a weekly basis. If you have a meeting and you meet someone every Wednesday, you can say, oh, hey boss, how has your last week been? And it means counting back those 7 days since you last saw him. How has your last week been? Alright guys, the last thing on this topic is the difference between the last week and last week without the. There's a very, very big difference. When you say the last week or your last week, it means counting back 7 days from now. So today is Wednesday, so the last week is from last Wednesday until today. But if I say last week without the or your, it doesn't mean that. It means the previous week in the calendar, Monday to Sunday. So it's a really, really big difference. So I can say things like, last week was horrible. And it means Monday to Sunday, the previous week. So I use the past tense. Last week was horrible. But I can say, the last week has been horrible. And because I said the, it means counting back from today, 7 days, Wednesday to Wednesday. The last week has been horrible. And this is why tenses are so important, guys, because obviously it can be very easy to miss if someone says the or if they don't say the, but you will not miss the tense. If you hear the past tense, last week was crazy, then you know obviously it's the previous week, the previous calendar week. But if you hear present perfect, has been, the last week has been crazy, that's when you know it means 7 days back from now. And of course it's the same with months and years. If I say last month, that means the previous month. It means March for me. But if I say the last month has been great, it means from March 15th until April 15th, just 30 days back from now. The same with years. If I say last year was horrible, it means the previous year in the calendar, 2022 for me. But if I say the last year, now that means counting back 365 days from today. So today is April 15th, Ryan?
I think so.
Yeah, so the last year, it means from April 15th last year until April 15th this year. And we will use present perfect. The last year has been amazing. So guys, that is what counts as continuing times. Recently can be both, it can be continuing or finished, and whenever you say the last something or your last something, it means counting back that much time from now. So guys, I really hope that was clear. I hope you feel that you can use this in real life. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And you can also check out our app, where you can learn hundreds of words and phrases that you probably don't know but definitely should know. And you can also check out our podcast for some advanced listening practice and some funny conversations with native speakers. And remember, you can download our Essential English leaflet for free, which has all of these rules and more, all nicely explained from start to finish, little summaries of each rule, and you can download that for free, guys. The links for that are in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.